Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear esteemed guests and honored colleagues, good afternoon. Welcome to all of you, online and here in presence in this beautiful town on the Slovenian coast and the beautiful building of InnoRenew, who is hosting us. I'm Mitja Rucier, Professor of Entrepreneurship from the Faculty of Management, University of Primorska, and I'm the moderator of this event. The conference will be held in English, will be in presence and also streamed online. I'm very glad to open this 2024 edition of the Digital Alps Conference under the year of the Slovenian presidency of EU-SALP, the European Strategy for the Alpine Regions. This year, the conference is part of a bigger event, the Mediterranean Coast and Macro-Regional Strategies Week 2024 here in Isola. The Digital Conference is promoted by Action Group 5 with the aim to bring together all initiatives and projects dealing with digitalization in the Alps and to unlock the potentials of digitalization. This year's conference will be a one-day event with a very compressed program, structured somehow in 4 main parts I'm shortly presenting. We have some welcome words, followed by 2 keynote speeches. One from Professor Stefanos Kotoglu, DG Digit, representing the EU Commission, and one from Dr. Emilia Stojmenova-Duh, Slovenian Minister for Digital Transformation. Following, we'll have 3 thematic workshops on digital transformation in the different macro-regional strategies, on the relevance of data and AI for Alpine region, and on new ways of work for the youth in the Alps. A short wrap of the discussions in this plenary room, and finally, conclusions with takeaways and future opportunities will be delivered by Mr. Carlo Vigna, leader of Action Group 5. So, it's time to start. I would like to invite on stage for some welcome words Mr. Carlo Vigna, leader of EU-SALP Action Group 5. Please.
Thank you, Mitja. Thank you for guiding today in this Digital Alps Conference edition 2024. I am very pleased to open the conference here in Isola. So first of all, I will thank the Isola administration to hosting us, but also Slovenian presidency of EU-SALP that accepted to have this event during the Micro-Regional Strategy Week. And also we are very pleased and thanks special to the European Commission that is supporting our activities to be in presence here. I see also members from AG5, so thanks to Kusai Shaim, director of Trentino Digitale, but also all the AG5 members that are here in presence. Of course, this conference will contribute on the works of one of the 4 main priorities of EU-SALP. Is cross-cutting priority 1, and it's called promoting the digitalization of the Alps. So I am also very glad to welcome the colleagues from AG2 and AG3 that are working with us and teaming with us for the cross-cutting priority 1. Of course, we have a lot of topics that we are trying to develop in this digitalization of the Alps. As you can see, it's a very huge and widespread ambition. But just to let you know that there are 3 main pillars where we are working on. The first one is the digital transformation of territories, promoting the smart village, smart community approach. The second one is to work on future-proof digital infrastructure. And the third one is to fostering the relevance of data for the Alpine area. And so, before to go in the actual work, but also in the welcome address from institution, I will say I will provide you some maybe suggestion 3 specific perspectives for the work of today. The first perspective is about what I will say, the perspective for small players of digital transformation, so small enterprises, the SMEs, small municipalities, and citizens and tourists. So in the first perspective, try to foster how to solve this problem from the point of view of small player. The second one is we have some issue to solve in rural and mountain areas. It's a fill the gap of the digitalization because in some territories we have the depopulation issue, and it's very clear, but also to use the digitalization to empower the economic development and to take full advantage of digital for welfare and economic development. The Alps have a huge natural resources and a huge potentiality. So it's also not to see the negative aspect, but also the potentiality and the positive one. And the third one is use Alp's strategy. With the aim is to build a long-term view. And this long-term view should be addressed to the future generation, so to the young people. So the third perspective is to be focused on what will be the solution for young people. So also I thanks because we are representative of from USALP Youth Council to be part of the event. And so I think it's all for my part. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vigna. Now I would like to invite on the stage Mrs. Natasha Cerin, Deputy Major of Isola, please.
Dear guests, a warm welcome to the Digital Alps 2024 conference on my behalf and on behalf of Municipality of Isola. I am pleased that this important event, which promotes innovation and digitalization in Alpine region, is being hosted right here in Isola. I work in IT industry, so I believe that the digitalization is not just the technology challenge, but also an opportunity to improve the quality of life. May today's conference inspire you and provide new opportunities offered by the development of digital technologies. I wish you a very successful day and productive day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Cerin. So now I would like to invite on stage Mrs. Tanya Sternisha, National Coordinator for EU Macro-Regional Strategy. Please.
Dear Deputy Mayor, dear organizers, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to welcome you at the already fourth edition of the Digital Alps Conference on behalf of the Slovenian Presidency of the EU Strategy for Alpine Region. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate the organizers, namely Action Group 5 of EU's Alp, for bringing together initiatives and projects dealing with this digitalization from the Alpine and other macro regions. I'm particularly delighted that I heard about your cross-cutting approach, so bringing together or let's say involving also other action groups within the strategy. The EU strategy for the Alpine region revolves around three major pillars. One of them is mobility and connectivity, with the objective of increasing accessibility of Alpine region for all. The other is connected to economic growth, innovation and competitiveness, and I am convinced that today's conference can substantially contribute to its objectives, as digitalization is indispensable to achieve a competitive, innovative, accessible, as well as circular and climate-neutral economy in the Alpine region. As we are all aware of, the Alpine macro-region is one of the most prosperous and competitive regions in Europe. However, 8 years after the establishment of EU's Alp, some of the region's main challenges remain. For example, balancing its wealth and development with nature conservation, or reducing disparities between the levels of development of the various regions. During its term, the Slovenian presidency focuses on three thematic priorities: the circular economy, a water-smart society, and the quality of life of young people in the Alps. In addition, the Slovenian EU-SALP presidency leads the process of involvement of the strategy to meet the needs of current and future policies. To this end, a document on the revision of the EU-SALP action plan is under preparation and should be presented to the ministers at the General Assembly taking place in November in Brdo, Slovenia. One of the aims of this exercise is to raise the political relevance of the strategy as integrated framework capable of responding to common challenges in the Alpine region. To achieve this, all actors responsible for the implementation of the strategy need to demonstrate their ability to deliver on long-term objectives of the strategy. Stakeholders in the Alpine strategy need to showcase their added value that can go beyond project partnerships and has an effect on policy level. In our view, this will bring us closer to political relevance and will have a real impact on the ground. As political engagement and support at the highest level is essential for achieving the ambitious objectives of the strategy, I would like to conclude by expressing my gratitude to the Slovenian Minister, Mrs. Stojminova Duh, that will take part in today's conference and thus hopefully substantially contributing to its political relevance. I wish you all every success and fruitful discussions, and of course a pleasant stay in Izola, Slovenia.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Stanisha. So, thanks to all of you for the nice welcome words. Now we proceed to more thematic discussions with some keynote speeches. I would like to invite on stage Mr. Stefanos Kotoglu, EC DG Digit on AI perspectives for mountain and rural areas from EU Commission. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mitya. Yeah, thanks a lot. As you see, I'm amateur with this setting. I feel like a singer, but I hope I will not sing for you. I'm terrible. So thanks a lot for the organization, all the organizers, and also the deputy mayor inviting us in this incredible place, Izola. I mean, yesterday night I couldn't see how beautiful it is with the lights this morning. I can say that it's a great place to mobilize so much people for this fourth edition of the Alps conference. So thanks once again for having also here the European Commission for presenting actually the initiatives that we have. And I will just go directly to my presentation where I will go through policies that we have in the European Commission. Then I will just present some data on countries around Alps, of course regions included. And I will close up with some specific initiatives on AI that I'm also following and we do just to promote cases in the Alps and also in the European Union. And also to provide the visibility to each country to promote actually their cases. So as you can see here, this is the road actually to the Digital Europe program. It's the policy framework that was established and it runs until 2030. And one of the main ingredients, main segments of this program is the digitalization of public services. The targets there, it's 100% of basic digital services to be online. Also, we have the e-health, so 100% of citizens, they have access to their medical records. And the third one is the digital identity. It's 100% of citizens who have access to digital ID. The e-wallet scheme from the European Commission will help towards this direction. And actually, this is something that came after a lot of work. It's not that it's happening now. It's like digital government since years. But now we go in this new era of emerging technologies to be incorporated in these digital services. So this started from the Digital E-Government Plan 2016, continuing with the DAC Declaration on e-government, Berlin Declaration, and then ended up to the Digital Decade Program. Of course, digital government, it's not about 2030 targets, as we explained. Also, digital targets, one of the targets is AI, as I mentioned, for SMEs, which is 70% of SMEs to using emerging technologies. But there are challenges of governance on AI. So new technologies, including AI and other technologies like blockchain, they have challenges. So we all know what is AI, or we pretend to know, or we are experts, I guess, in this room, or we are not, or we are very humble to say no. Personally, I say that I'm not an expert, but I have to be one, meaning that I follow all the advancements and I also be critical on what is there on AI. So AI is about governance. Governance, apart from the technology, is very important because who is governing AI? Why AI has to be governed? AI has to follow, of course, structures and mechanisms that they are already there in the legislation of countries. We cannot say that there is a regulation on AI like the AI Act that says, okay, you have to do A, even though A is against all legislations. So based on legislations that they are there, we have to improve them, we have to update them, and also build the governance of AI. It's governance of AI, governance with AI. So AI, artificial intelligence, has to be used to help us, the public administrations, to have better services, to have better administration works inside the public administrations, to have better decision making, data-driven decision making. And of course, governance by AI. This is the challenge. We don't want AI to be the decisive actor there. We have to use AI for our benefits. And yeah, this is transformation 2040, but also it's now, it's happening now, so we have to set up the main fundamentals for this. Actually, what we have been doing, the European Commission on AI, it's not new. So there are many studies and work that has been running since years. As you can see, 2021, we have the review of the coordinated plan on artificial intelligence, which actually shows and passes the ball, let's say, to public administrations to use AI. So they improve their services, they become better, they use AI for their benefits. The JRC has been working on different studies. The AI Awards is a very good example where through research and interviews, more than 700, if I'm not mistaken, use cases on AI were collected since 2021. And with peer learning workshops on the use of and the impact of AI in public services, there was also the conclusion to the report that actually, of course, it has been published and it's publicly available for everyone, but also created the road for the artificial intelligence to be adopted by the public administration. The AI Watch is the predecessor of an initiative that we are running in the European Commission that also it's building upon the new experiences of public administrations and regions specifically in Europe. But I will talk about this in a second. Before that, I just want to set the policy context of AI and digital government. So the main two legislations that we have now in Europe are these freshly put in force legislations. I will start with the Interoperable Europe Pact, which is the act of actually the unit that I work for, and aims to increase interoperability between public administrations and give the opportunity to citizens and businesses to have better access and secure access to these public services, with also the power to provide their feedback, to gain openness, and to have transparency and security of the services and their data. This is the Interoperable Europe Act that was put in force 11th of April this year, and the AI Act, it's the other legislation that was put in force this summer, and it's the legislation that has been developed since years, but it's now in force from DG Connect, and actually sets the regulation, the rules on how these solutions, these applications, they have to be used, they have to follow some standards. So these applications, they are not high risk. I mean, they cannot go in the market if they are high risk, meaning that they trespass your rights, they don't, let's say, respect your rights, like with using facial recognition without any reason, let's say, but abusing your rights. So Europe, the EU, sets the regulations for these acts, and these two acts actually they are quite connected. So AI is also used in interoperability and the other way around. So we increase the use of AI through interoperable services, and we enforce, we enhance the interoperability with the use of AI solutions in the public sector. So AI in the public sector, actually, as I said, it's trustworthiness and human centricity. So it's based on the user, and based on trust. And I will just focus on three main pillars that I will go through my presentation. We have the knowledge sharing, the policy guidance, and the experimentation. These three steps, they help towards the implementation and the adoption of AI solutions in the public administration. We will start with the knowledge sharing. Here I present, as I before said, the Public Sector TechWatch is the database, online database of the European Commission, where we host more than 1,500 use cases, not only on AI, but also on blockchain and virtual worlds and other emerging technologies, of pilots, from pilots to real implementations of these technologies in Europe, at national, at regional, and also at local level. It's very important to have knowledge of this. It's good. I know I promote, of course, the stuff that I work on, but it's very useful to have access to this database so that you gain visibility of what's going on, and also you can promote what you are doing by giving the visibility to others and collaborate. So even you co-create. Again, I will come back to this by presenting some news and also a competition that we run and awards that it's a good opportunity also for you to participate in the future. So again, in the knowledge sharing, we have the good practice and tool sharing. So here you can see the algorithm transparency standard. It's an initiative so regions, they can upload online and have open their code of algorithms on AI. So you can reuse and also update, even provide feedback on improving these algorithms. What the European Commission also has developed is these AI clauses with collaboration and also initiative from DG Grow, where public administrations they can use these clauses to procure AI solutions. So it's like, you know, proven cases, clauses that you can use to procure AI solutions without having any, let's say, at least the basic. I mean, you don't have a big headache on how you can, you know, develop procure your tender to get these solutions. And of course, we have the local digital twins toolbox, which is kind of from action plan to collaboration and also sharing of experiences on how to become a digital twin. After the knowledge sharing, I will just present some context policy studies that we have developed. As I mentioned before, JRC has been working on different cases, like with the publication of the AI Watch, but also we are in the process of publishing a new report on AI governance and capacity needs, meaning skills for AI for public organizations, including also citizens. So it's very important to have an overview, to have a visibility of what skills are needed there for AI in the public administrations. And insights into the perception of using AI by public servants. It's not only skills, but it's also about the perception and how public servants, they perceive these new technologies in the public sector to improve, as I mentioned, services of citizens and businesses. So, talking about competencies, yeah, it's quite, how to say, blur to see what competencies are needed. It's not only IT software skills, it's not only main managerial skills. So what we will have in the study that it's coming soon online, there are 3 different levels of skills. Attitudinal competencies, know why. So it's about the perception that public servants and citizens have for the use of these technologies. Operational competencies, know how, meaning the operational level, how management uses AI or has to perceive AI to be used. And of course, literacy competencies with the more IT skills, let's say, like programming algorithms, train algorithms, generative AI, and other types of AI to be used in the public sector. So, out of this study, we have 3 main recommendations that, of course, are relevant not only at national, but also at the regional and local level. The first of all is develop focused AI training programs. It's easy to say, it's very difficult because it's also related to the second, I would say, recommendations, which is just to provide some funding or to focus on research on AI competencies. It's a new era, it's a new area as well of competencies. And AI, it's not to be taken with a light head. It's like we have to focus on having the best framework, or at least one of the best frameworks on AI competencies and needs. And last but not least, of course, after training, it is very important to establish dedicated hiring processes and also programs and frameworks to attract talent on AI. So when it comes to regions, and just to be in line with this setting, of course, it's not regions that have some specificities. Of course, you are well aware of this. You are part of the Alps regions. And all these trainings or recommendations that have to be tailored in the needs of the regions. And there should be collaboration between regions and also with the support of the national government to have specific, let's say, context on these needs, taking into consideration the cultural diversity, and also to the fine-grained level of detail compared to the national level. The third pillar of this journey from the knowledge sharing and policy, it's the experimentation. And I think this is, at least for me, it is the most important, at least at this first stage of adopting and implementing AI solutions, because experimentation also gives the opportunity to actually see these use cases. It's not only at theoretical level, you actually have hands-on on what it can be done through the implementation of these technologies and the use of the competencies that they are needed on AI. What we are working on in the European Commission, I will just present three projects here. One is the GovTech Connect, which is a community that brings together SMEs and startups working on AI to seize opportunities, exchange ideas, and overcome problems by collaborating and discussing through different workshops, and also by providing trainings or even frameworks with the, of course, help of the European Commission. We have developed a foresight study that I will present some results in a very short time. Then we have the GovTech for All, which is the main part of the experimentation that we are running in the European Commission, at least Digit. So through this, we try to pilot different cases on the use of AI and other emerging technologies, not only AI. It's a 4 years program that now we are in the first year, and we have 3 pilots. But in the next, as of 2025, there will be the second round with 8 new pilots focusing specifically on AI and blockchain, with also a specific focus on generative AI. There we have 21 partners, and we will have more, I think 28 in total, including not only European countries, but also EU countries, but also other countries like Ukraine, Turkey, and North Macedonia. Again, it's pure experimentation. It gives a chance to public administrations with the support of SMEs and, of course, the support of the European Commission to test real cases that they can be then developed into even interoperable Europe solutions, meaning solutions that they are recognized and they can be reused globally or at least in the European Union. The last one, I'm pretty sure that you're aware of it, it's Digital Innovation Hubs and the working group that we have on AI for public administrations. So it's private and also, of course, public administrations that they come together to bring expertise and discuss about opportunities and also problems that they have on improving and adopting AI technologies in the public sector. Here I will just present briefly, of course the details I will not go so deep, but you can have the slides, I guess, online later on. What's going on in the Alps countries? We don't have the fragmentation of the regions, but you can see that based on a study from GovTech Connect, there are more than 1,000 SMEs working on GovTech. And I have to just set the scene for GovTech because we have e-government and we have GovTech. So GovTech, it's in reality e-government, meaning digital services, but with the use of emerging technologies. So GovTech comes in the game with digital services using emerging technologies, but these digital services, they are also developed with the support of SMEs and startups that they really bring the innovation. Startups, they have to be part actually of this ecosystem because they bring the innovation through the very not fragmented, let's say, way that they work, and they bring easily innovation on in development. So you can see that this market is more than 90 billion euros based on this study. That of course it will be continue being updated. And as you can see, the lion's share, it's for the Central Europe with 376 billion, sorry, this is SMEs, 376 SMEs as we identified in the study. Here, actually, it's more about the amounts that I was a bit hasty to present before. And again, the Central Europe, you can see it's 50 billion, they come from Central Europe. And as you can see, the different divisions, I think, okay, exactly, these are the arrows. You can see that in South Europe, Italy and Spain, they are leading with more than 5 billion in the global market of, in the European market of GovTech companies. Germany and France in Central Europe, and Turkey in the east with Poland and Czechia following. So, after the GovTech Connect, and I will just present briefly what partners we have on GovTech for All, which is, as I said, the experimentation of AI solutions. We have 5 partners that they are coming from Alps countries. They are from France, Germany, and Italy. It's an initiative that welcomes more and more participants. So if you're interested, you can get in contact with me, and I will get in contact with the coordinator of the initiative, and you can be part of it. It's a grant that it's financed 50%. In the future, we will have 4 million to be co-financed, and in at the end of 25, 26, it will be most probably 3 more million to be co-financed. So it's an open call for you to participate and get in contact with your national agency, digital agency, to participate in this experimentation. When it comes to digital innovation hubs, again, for the Alps countries, we have 12 actually digital innovation hubs coming from these countries. We have Austria, France, Germany, and Italy. And as I said, it's an initiative that brings together this, again, funded by the European Commission, these digital innovation hubs for seizing opportunities on bringing AI, specifically in the working group that I am working with, in public administration. So, what's for the future, and what could be interesting for you is what's going on and what will come end of November. So, 26 and 27 of November, we will have the 2 days of the yearly Digital Innovation Hubs Network Summit in Brussels, where there will be pitches from different digital innovation hubs, and also there will be workshops to get to know each other and find ways and also the basis to collaborate and exchange knowledge. And on the 28th, we will have this co-host event, either online only, or for sure it's going to be physical, the GovTech Connect, but the public sector was still to be debated, so I don't want to be sure about this. I don't want to say that it will happen face-to-face, but it might be. So what we will do under the Public Sector Tech Awards is that we will have these awards that we will give to G2G and G2C services, government to citizen, government to government. We have collected more than 30 cases, and they will be awarded the best innovative, the best impactful, and the best collaborative solutions. And as I mentioned, on the 28th, it will be the GovTech Connect final event, which is, they will be presented, the study, the foresight study that I presented before with the data for all European countries, and also all this network that will come together to get to know what happened through these 2 years of the project with the different trainings that they were offered through the 4 different boot camps that they were organized. And before I close, I would just like to share this picture with you, this image that actually somehow brings together all the initiatives, or majority of the main initiatives that we have in the European Commission about GovTech. And as I said, it's the Public Sector Tech Watch, the database that you have your use cases, GovTech Connect, which is the main community exchanging experiences, and the GovTech for All incubator, which is the experimentation part where we test use cases of AI and other emerging technologies in the public sector. And of course, all this under the Interoperable Europe Act, the umbrella of the Interoperable Europe Act. Just to close, more related to regions, is that, first of all, we have the Lordi Index. It is kind of key performance indicators defined after the DESI, the Digital Economy and Society Index that was used and is being used for the digital decade and the European semester by DigiConnect, and actually measures the digitalization of regions. And of course, it's something that it's not obligatory, but it's there. So for regions, it's an invitation to have a look, and why not use it. Then we have the DT for regions, which is an initiative that it's seized actually, but it's there online, so you can have a view of what regions they can offer on the use of emerging technology. So you can have, it's kind of a predecessor of the public sector tech watch with different use cases. And of course, the local digital twins and Cityverse EDIC. It's the European Digital Infrastructure Consortium, where actually your region also can join. For now, we have France and Slovenia. And there you can have a look and buy or reuse solutions for becoming digital twin. And yeah, this is my presentation. I hope it was fruitful and useful for you.
Thank you very much, Panos. Thank you. Well, now it's time for the second keynote speech, the relevance of the digital transformation of rural and mountain territories. And it is a pleasure and the honor to have with us Dr. Emilia Stojmenova-Duh, our Slovenian Minister for Digital Transformation. Please welcome on stage.
Thank you so much, dear ladies and gentlemen. I'm very proud and honored to be able to address you today. As a Minister of Digital Transformation, there are many friends here. We've been working together within this group for several years before I became a minister, so really it is indeed a pleasure for me to be here with you today. Unfortunately, I was not able to join you from the start. I really liked your presentation, what you were explaining us, what is going on. And during my talk, I would like to focus on the rural, the importance of digital transformation in rural and mountainous areas through our Digital Slovenia strategy that our government adopted last year, and where we have the same challenges, like you mentioned earlier, that are also measured by the Lordi Index. First, I will start with connectivity. In Slovenia, we are very lucky that we have very good connectivity. If we compare what is happening within the region, but also through around Europe. So in our country, more than 90% of our households already have access to high-speed broadband, which is crucial. If we want to talk about digital transformation, first we need access to the internet, to high-speed broadband. But yet, even though we have more than 90%, it is approximately 92%, there are still 8% of the households that don't have this access. And usually these households are in rural areas and of course in mountainous areas. And we saw this as a huge problem last year in Slovenia. We had floods. It was devastating. What is happening now in Austria, in Romania, in Poland, it was something similar like in Slovenia. And we saw how difficult was this for these households who didn't have access to the internet or to mobile access. So this is another thing what we're trying to do in Slovenia. Also, we're looking for some innovative approaches like mobile access to the internet to cover even those 8% that still have access to the internet. Another thing is access to 5G. It was also something that is measured in Lordi. In Slovenia, we did a major progress. This was shown in the DAC, the new report is not called DAC anymore, the Digital Decade report, and we did a huge progress. It was for more than 28% only in the last year. So we have now more than 80% of our country covered with 5G. Our goal in Digital Slovenia strategy is that we will have 100% by 2030, but for the most urban areas, it will be till 2025. I'm convinced that we will be able to achieve this goal even earlier. So if we want to speak about digital transformation, not only in rural areas, but everywhere, first we need good access to the internet. Slovenia is one of the rare countries where we treat access to the internet as a universal service. So in our country, everybody regardless whether he or she lives in mountainous areas or in rural areas or whatever, at their permanent address, it is by law they can get access to the internet. It's not high-speed internet, but they are connected. Because for us, access to the internet, it's almost like a human right. It is access to knowledge, it is access to information. We're very proud about that. Another thing that it is also mentioned in Digital Slovenia strategy is digital inclusion. And when we're speaking about digital inclusion, we have in mind several things. Digital skills and competences, absolutely. Also, access to the internet. So it's not enough that we have the coverage, but people need to afford that coverage. So we need to help them for those who cannot do that. And it is also access to electronic equipment. I will start with digital skills and competences. This is the major challenge that we have in Europe, in my opinion, because if we see how many, the share of the people who have digital skills and competences is still very low. And even in Slovenia, it's 50% of our population that has at least basic digital skills and competences. This is why our government started with many different programs. We are investing a lot of free trainings for all segments of users of population, from the youngest till the eldest, because our crucial goal is no one left behind. So in the last year, we had more than 35,000 people. Please take into account in Slovenia we're 2 million, so 35,000 people that participated in our trainings is a huge share. And we had trainings for the young people, then we had trainings for people that are already employed somewhere and they need to get some new skills and competences. You were mentioning AI, blockchain, there are other, for example, data governance and so on and so on. And last but not least, we don't want to forget the elderly. And what we did, because what is usually happening, you have these programs and trainings in urban areas. We tried with a program called Mobile Heroes, where we have mobile classrooms, which are traveling all around Slovenia, even in rural areas. And this mobile classroom visits villages, and then people can attend these trainings in their own local environment. And this was shown, we started with a pilot project in 2022. And because it was a huge success, we continued last year, and now we have this year as well. So this is the way how we can make sure that everybody will get the skills and competences that are needed nowadays to not only to work, but to survive in our digital world. And this leads me to the next item, which is digital public services. Digital public services are useful for everybody, but they're especially useful for people living in the rural areas, because they don't need to go to the urban areas, just, I don't know, to get a document, to apply for something. You don't need to go somewhere, to travel somewhere, but it is enough if you do that online. In our country, this was another thing that it was shown in the Digital Decade report. We did a huge success that we had more digital public services. Even now we have more than 450 digital public services available online. But it is not enough to have these digital public services. People need to know what is available and how they can use them. So that's why we are doing a lot of promotion. We are doing also, for example, we are using different events where people from our ministry come and show to the rest of the people what is available, that you can register your car, that you can apply for a scholarship, and so on, at events that are already happening. For example, there is a fair now, a huge fair happening in Celje, and it has nothing to do with digital public services, but we have a stand where our colleagues, together with representatives from the Ministry of Public Administration, are representing what digital public services there are and helping people to get electronic IDs. Because in Slovenia, the electronic ID, it is also a mean to identify, and has the digital signature there. So we are trying to approach the citizens and not waiting for them to approach us. Another thing that we did, last year we established a so-called network of DG Info points. It is good that you have digital services online, But people who are not digitally skilled, they still want to have somebody, a person, who can help them. And that is why we have this network of Digi Info points. It's 162. They're all over the country, so they're in all different municipalities, and they're experts, trained people who are there to help everybody that comes in person, to explain them how they can use the digital public services, but also the services that are provided by the private sector. Because if we want to make sure that they're using the public services in digital way, then of course it makes no sense if we don't help them to know how to use a mobile bank, I don't know, all the services that are available by the public sector, and this is a private sector, and this is very important because what is happening, usually the private sector is the one who cuts the services that are offered in a physical way. For example, many health organizations, many hospitals, they just cut the services that are available in physical way. You cannot call anymore by phone, but you can only do that online, and people don't know how to use them, so we wanted to support our citizens. The next thing what we're trying to do is to show how data is available. And you were mentioning that we need to skill people for AI competences. I fully agree, but to skill them for AI competences, first we need to do our homework. They need the digital skills and competences. And if you remember earlier, I mentioned that in Slovenia, it's only 50% of our citizens that have at least basic digital skills and competences. So first, we need to clean that. We need to make sure that they get the digital skills and competences, and then we can continue to the AI skills and competences, including public authorities. It is very important that public administrators have these skills and competences, because if they don't have them, then they cannot create policies for the rest of the country. And this is something that we start not only with AI, but also with data. Slovenia was one of the, no, it was the first country within OECD. We started a project so-called data stewardship, network of data stewards at each different ministry, where we trained the public administrators what is data, how data can be used, and why it is important that we have interoperable data and services, and then try to make sure that all our policies are following that. And it starts with the public administrators, of course. We know that in the private sector, they are more skilled, they are more advanced, but through the public sector, we believe that we can make sure we achieve all the goals that were set also by the Digital Slovenia strategy. When we are speaking about digital economy, we need to include the industry. We have a special industry in Slovenia. When it comes to artificial intelligence, our country, I'm proud that we are on the 8th place if we compare with the different European countries by the share of companies who are using artificial intelligence. But this is also comes with the tradition and experience in Slovenia. We have Institute Jožef Stefan, where they started with not only researching, but also teaching machine learning at the time, 50 years ago. So that's why artificial intelligence is important technology in our country, and we are supporting it a lot. And you were mentioning that we need to find, it was one of the recommendations, hiring process to attract, to employ AI skilled people. But the problem in Slovenia and in the rest of Europe, of course, in our region, is we don't have them. We don't need special hiring processes because there are no AI experts available. So what the country can do, what the government can do here, is train them, because it's a scarcity. We don't have them even abroad. In the past, we were saying, okay, we can import experts, but now we don't have from where to import them, and that's why we are putting so much attention on funding these programs of all ages to make sure that we train our own experts not only in artificial intelligence, but in other technologies as well. So another thing what we need to be aware, it is also cybersecurity. This is something that we do have challenges, not only in rural areas, but everywhere. And again, the best way how we can help is by training. You can see that although I said I'm going through different goals of our Digital Slovenia strategy, at the end we always start and finish with trainings, with knowledge, with skills. And this is what the regions can do the most, is to support such programs and trainings. Then we have the support environment, just as you mentioned. In Slovenia, we also have European Digital Innovation Hubs. They weren't mentioned here, and they are using AI also for public administration. We have 3 of them, but the biggest problem is that the regions don't know that they exist. So this is a difficulty. I don't say that they're not good in promoting their stuff, but somehow regions still don't know that they exist, and they can ask them for help, for support. So maybe we need a joint effort to find a way how regions can be fully aware of what is already available there. And then, just as you mentioned, the European Digital Innovation Consortia, Slovenia is part of 3 or 4 of them. I think Cityverse is just one of them. Again, people need to understand why and how they can use them. There are many, many different mechanisms. It is for digital transformation for everybody. What we are observing is usually the urban areas sooner are aware of what is happening and of all the opportunities that are there. And that's why it is very important that we have such groups like USALP, like Action Group 5, where they can closely work with the regions and where they can share with them what are the opportunities and mechanisms available there. I was participating in several projects within this group, and I can say that one of my favorite projects was coordinated by Peter, who is sitting there and taking notes. It was the Smart Villages project. It was truly an eye-opening of how important digital transformation is for rural areas, but the lessons learned there are the lessons learned for what I'm doing in my job now at the ministry, because we're always saying we don't want to have anybody left behind. And if we're speaking about not leaving anybody behind, then we need to start with the rural regions, mountainous regions, the peripheral regions. We don't have islands here, but islands are very similar. They have very similar challenges like the rest of the of you who are sitting here. So thank you so much for all your work, what you're doing. We are following your work as well. We are including the challenges that you are facing in our strategies. And most importantly, it is not enough that we only have strategies, but we need action plans. And this is what we did in Slovenia. So following the strategy, we have a national plan of activities with concrete numbers and funding, so how we can support all these different challenges that were mentioned to make sure that we also succeed our goals. I hope that you will have an amazing event here, and I'm very proud that the topic selected by the Slovenian presidency was circular economy, then smart water management, sustainable water management, and young people in the Alps. Just maybe would like to conclude with one of our most important projects during my mandate. What we are doing right now in Slovenia, we are building a new supercomputer. We already have one in Maribor. It has nothing to do that I'm from Maribor. It was just, it was already there. It is a supercomputer that is already existing. And what we're doing right now, we want to have the best green and digital reference project in Europe. So we're building a new supercomputer, and it will be cooled by the water of the river Drava. And then the heat waste will be used to heat the residential buildings in the surroundings. So we can see that green and digital can go hand in hand together, and that digital transformation is not just a buzzword, but is something that we are living it, and that makes the quality of life, not only work, but the quality of life of everybody higher. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much for these valuable inputs. I think it's a very good starting point for the next sections to come. And especially now we have thematic workshops. So 3 very interesting thematic-oriented and interactive workshops performed in parallel, actually, which means at the same time in different rooms. So now we'll need to spread. As in my information, you have already selected the workshop of your interest, okay? Just shortly to introduce these 3 workshops. So the first will be moderated by Peter Niederer from SAB. So he's sitting here. So the Swiss Center for Mountain Regions, and they will discuss the opportunities for digital transformation of rural territories, the role of macro-regional strategies, and it will be held at this room. So for those who want to attend, just remain here, okay? This is Sequoia room, just for your knowledge. So the second will have 2 moderators, which is Elisa Morganti from Hub Innovazione Trentino Foundation. She's sitting here. So to know, just follow her if you don't know the room. So, and we have also Mario Pichler from SCCH, Software Computer Center Hagenberg, who unfortunately could not participate in presence due to the floods in Austria, and will therefore participate just online. So it will take place in the room Pseudo-Zuga, which is the other side of this main in front of our doors. So it will address the potentials of data spaces and artificial intelligence in the Alpine area. And the third, it will be moderated by Annalisa Cavesco. So she's sitting behind. From ANCI Liguria, it will deal with new ways of work to encourage the settlement of youth in mountain areas, and will be in Tilia room. Okay, Tilia room. Beside that, it's also time for coffee. Which, yes, we are all expecting a bit of caffeine especially. But the coffee will be served in each room. So first, when you leave, go there and you can take your coffee. So please go directly so we can start the workshops on time. Workshops, just for information, start at 16:15, so in 15 minutes, and will last until 17:40. When they finish, I would kindly ask you to come back directly, not to take, let's say, too much time on the way, because we would like to make a wrap-up session here when you finish, actually, and we'll try to wrap up the most important insights from the discussion with the moderators of the workshop. So we will start at 17:45. What is also important, a final technical remark, also for those actually listening to us online, actually, if you join the other workshops, you have to change the links. For those remaining in this workshop, just remain on the link you are actually logged in, and you will attend first the first workshops and later on also the wrap-up session. Okay, so I think everything is clear. I hope to enjoy further on the workshops and see you back in at 17:45, and enjoy your coffee also. Thank you.